Welcome back. Wrapping up a great show today. Tim Brando from Fox Sports talking a little college football, promoting the Big 12. Called it the best conference or most competitive conference from top to bottom. And then we also had Herm Edwards talking a little NFL with some of the holdouts, a little bit of Titans talk as well with a big practice tomorrow at Nissan Stadium, open to the public if you want to go check it out. But final segment here, we do still have bet of the day, but I'm going to do rapid fire over-under SEC win totals for Billy Jones. Here we go. Alabama, 9.5.
Give me under. You got to go to Wisconsin. You got to go to Tennessee. You got to go to LSU. You got to go to Oklahoma. You get Georgia at home. Missouri after 5 straight SEC games and a road trip to Knoxville. Listen, I think this team's good. I think Milrose going to be solid. I don't think they have those shutdown guys at corner like they had, they've had historically, and then obviously last year with Terry and Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I don't think DeBoer is going to be a failed experiment. I think he's going to do a great job, but I think this is a 9-3 football team.
Could this be the last year for Sam Pittman? Over under 4.5.
4.5. I'm going over. I think they're going to find a way to get there. You got 3 really winnable games in the non-con. At Oklahoma State, a game I really think they can win. The Sokie State team, when things are expected of them, things go wrong for them. I think they can find a way to win that ball game and then steal an SEC win somewhere else.
Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers got Peyton Thorne at quarterback. Over under 7.5.
I think it's right under. People are really high on Cam Coleman coming in as a freshman. He's got that 6'3" frame. He's athletic. I just don't think he quite makes the jump people are expecting him to year one in the SEC coming in as a true freshman. I think the defense isn't going to be as dominant as a lot of people are hoping with DJ Durkin. I think this Auburn team is going to be good, but I think 7-5 is the right number for where they're going to finish up. And they might be a team that starts 5-0.
Yeah. Florida Gators, Billy Napier. Could this be his last year in Gainesville? Over under 4.5.
I think they get to 5, and I think they might let him go, but I think they do get to 5.
How about that bold statement, Tim Brando? They could win 8 games this year, and they'd still fire him. I don't.
If they fire him and he wins 8 games with this schedule, they should make the playoff if they win 8 games with this schedule.
You go 7-5. That's a really good coaching job.
Yeah, I think they clear the 4.5. I don't know if Napier keeps his job.
Georgia 10.5.
Over. You have the road games at Alabama and Texas. I think they'll get one of those.
They'll drop one.
Yeah, and I think they'll win at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Listen, Ole Miss is going to be better, but I still don't think they have what it takes to match up against Georgia.
They're not beating Georgia.
And they're not losing at home.
Kentucky 6.5.
Kentucky 6.5. I want to go slightly over. Non-conference, very, very manageable. You don't play anyone too tough. Louisville's your toughest game. That's at home. Your road games in conference are tough, but at home you got Vandy, you got Auburn, you got South Carolina. Those are 3 really winnable games at home. I think Kentucky gets to 7 wins.
Vandegrift better than the guy they had last year.
I think he is. I think he's going to be good. That defense is going to be nasty with Deion Walker and then Maxwell Harrison in the back end.
Dumas Johnson as well. LSU, 9.5.
Sorry, I'll be faster. Over. I think this is a 10-2 football team, really high on LSU. You can split. You can lose a couple road games and still be fine. I think they're going to take care of Ole Miss and Bama at home.
This one's crazy. Mississippi State, 3.5.
Over. It's all going to be about that first game in Tempe, week 2.
Yep.
Can they beat Arizona State? That's the hinge point.
They should. If they can't, that team's not very good.
I think Levy's a really good coach. I think this is a team that's going to catch fire late. Watch out. Missouri goes there second to last week of the year. I think that's a big, big trap game for the Tigers.
Speaking of the Tigers, 9.5.
Give me over. That schedule's too manageable. Really like what they have coming back on offense. I think Corey Batoon's going to do a good job with that defense. It's all about splitting a road game at Texas A&M and a home game against Oklahoma. Can you get 1-1 in that? You can still lose that game at Alabama and be fine.
You mentioned the Sooners, 7.5. That surprises me.
I think it's right under. You know why it is? Road trip to Auburn, road trip to Ole Miss, road trip to Missouri, road trip to LSU. They're not winning a single one of those games.
Good luck, Sooners. Ole Miss, 9.5.
Ole Miss, 9.5. I think it's under. I think this is a 9-win football team. I think it's very good, but I think they're a 9-win football team. Some big road traps I look at. They go to South Carolina the week before they go to LSU, and they have a big game against Oklahoma. And then they go to Arkansas right before that Georgia game. That's been a house of horrors for them recently. I think the Hogs get them in Fayetteville.
You're going to have Rebel fans in your mentions.
Yeah, I'm sure.
South Carolina, 5.5.
Under. This team is...
They're not very good.
They're not very good.
They're good in NCAA.
Are they?
The new video game.
I haven't played with them yet. Maybe Sellers is the real deal. I don't buy it. I'm going under.
Tennessee 8.5.
Tennessee 8.5 over. I think this is a 9-3 football team. I think they just miss out on the playoff. I think Nico's going to take his lumps early, especially in that Oklahoma game. I think it's going to get ugly in Norman, but I think he's going to find his way late in the season. I think they're going to beat Alabama at home. I think they'll find their way to 9 wins.
I think that's a pretty easy over.
Yeah.
Texas 10.5.
Texas 10.5. I'm going to go under. Just too many tough games on that schedule. That road trip to A&M is going to be a nightmare. I still think this team makes the playoff at 10-2. You also got to go to the big house. You got the Red River game, Georgia at home. I think this is a really good Texas team. I think 10-2 there in the playoff, but I don't think they get to 11 wins.
Mike Elko and the Aggies 8.5.
I think it's under. They're going to beat somebody good. Like we've mentioned, Missouri, LSU, Notre Dame, Texas. All teams that have their eyes on the playoff, they go to College Station. They knock off one or two of those teams, but ultimately I think this is a 7-5, 8-4 team.
Vandy 2.5.
Over. Come on, Doors. I think Clark Lee will find a way. You beat Alcorn State, and you beat Ball State, and you just got to find one more win. At Georgia State, at Kentucky, home against South Carolina. I think they can find that third win, maybe even that Virginia Tech game.
There it is. Best rapid-fire segment of all time. We'll have one more Bet of the Day segment. Keep it right here, 95.9 FM.